Shalom. I want to start with giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Waharuka Kodash, double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone for teaching us scriptures, among other things, and salutations to all your Akim across the earth for doing this work in sincerity and truth. Shalom. Slakia. So this is an article that I posted earlier today in the group app, and it goes about original New York residents, so the so-called Indians, the Northern tribes, want Dutch excuses for colonization. And for those who are who are watching my videos, know that I always mention that these Dutch Edomites, that they are very special. They are if you compare them with other Edomites, for as far as I know, they are the most wicked Edomites that been all over the planet. Don't forget, they were the first one who sent a slave ship, a ship with slaves from Africa, from the west coast of Africa to America. They were the last one even to stop with slavery, because when all the other Edomites, quit with slavery, they stopped it. They made it forbidden and all that. The Dutch Edomites continued for at least another 10 years. So that's also another thing. During the first World War, the First World War, they were selling cocaine to the Germans, and I believe also to the England, the people from England, America, and all that. Basically they were selling cocaine to all the soldiers that were fighting in the war. They had a cocaine factory in Amsterdam. They were I said it, growing the plants for the cocaine. They were growing it in Indonesia, because that also used to be a colony of them. So there was a lot of things that they used to do, and they had those Indonesians also as kind of using them as free labor, rob that country for all the things. They used to be pirates. They used to rob other ships. So this Edomites, they got a lot of this Dutch Edomites, they got a lot of blood on their hands. They were a lot of cases. You will find out that they were the first one to do certain things. And also concerning slavery, for example, my parents are from the island of Curacao, and my mother told me, because my grandmother, she basically experienced slavery as a child, and there was a lot of things that they used to do. They were the most cruel. Even if you talk to the people of Suriname, they can explain you how these Edomites, these Dutch Edomites, they were the most cruel Edomites uh, during slavery in comparing with the other Edomites. And on Curacao, you used to have the Englishmen, you used to have the Frenchmen. The Frenchmen were there, the Portuguese and the Spaniards were there. But the Dutch Edomites, they were there as last, and they also fight with the Spaniards. I don't know exactly how it went, but they were the worst. They had the cruel things to concerning punishing Jake. So they were the worst and they were the last. And now is the time that the Most High is revealing all these things. More and more things of these devils are coming to the light. Because I remember like last year, it was like 150 years, I believe, that slavery was abolished. That it was done, and so you have a lot of people. That's all elderly people. And there was an elderly lady from Curacao. And she didn't like, it was a documentary concerning the slavery and the time after slavery and all that. A lot of stories that basically, we're talk from family to family, but basically, basically not being made commercial. Let me call it like that. So not for everybody to know. And a daughter was interviewed. Somebody was filming her and asking questions, and then her mother, was already an elderly lady, said, "Why are you responding to them in the Dutch language?" She didn't like it. And then the female who was interviewing, I believe it was a female that was interviewing the daughter of that elderly lady, and she told her to ask her why she doesn't like for her to reply in the Dutch. It was a Dutch television program, and then the elderly lady started to explain that when she was younger, so that was right after slavery, they were not allowed to speak the Papiamento language, and the Papiamento language is the language that they speak on Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. So they were not allowed to speak the Papiamento language in the public places. So the children were forced, when they were playing outside, in the play yard or whatever, they were forced to talk in the Dutch. If the people were on the streets, they were forced to talk in the Dutch language. They were not allowed to speak in their own language. So they only were allowed to speak their own language in the house, basically. So that shows you how wicked these Dutch Edomites are. And don't forget also that thing, and in South Africa, there's also a thing like, I think last year they also went there because you also had their, also by the harbor, the Dutch also owned a spot there where they were putting slaves on the sea. And the indigenous people from there, they got angry with the king and the queen. They went to visit to a slavery museum. Also did a video about that. It's maybe a year ago or something. And they went to visit that slavery museum, and then the indigenous people from there, they got angry with them, because yeah, basically they were like, what the fuck are you doing here, So they try, first they shake hands, but they were really like, they want money, a lot of and I know a lot of in South Africa you got a lot of Hamites there, but you got people also mingled there. Don't forget, people are all over the planet, and so the thing is, they got how you say that? So they got kind of angry, and that was also funny. So the king, he basically run into the car and basically left his wife, with the angry mob. She was the last one who was able to get into the car, and then they just left, because the people were really angry, So that's a kind of funny. But yeah, that's also another thing, So basically, and there's also another thing, that they used to have the segregation over there, and that the name in South Africa was apartheid. And apartheid is a Dutch word, which literally means separation, It's a Dutch word. And if you look at the language, what they talk there, the Afrikaans, which is also a Dutch word for African, um, and the language is all Dutch, for like how the farmers speak it, and that's that shows you that those are Dutch people also, So these Dutch people, they have a hand in a lot of wickedness, a lot of things, you find out. But that from the apartheid in South Africa, I already knew as a child that it was Dutch. For me, it's very clear. If I heard them speak in that language, I'm like, yeah, that's Dutch, man. And people wanna, here they wanna make jokes about it, this and that, basically laugh it off, But that's also the Book of Psalms. Matter of fact, let me grab that real quick. I think it's chapter 73, if I'm correct. Yes. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 73 and verse 8. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. They want to make jokes about it and, make fun about how they pronounce certain words, this and that. They all kinds of memes they used to make of it, which is kind of bullshit because those people, they were living in hard times, And with these Hamites, I don't give shit about these Hamites, but, nevertheless, also a lot of our people are also down there, And like I said, our people are spread all over the earth, all the four corners of the earth, you're gonna find our people, So let me jump into the article. So this is let me see. This is the book of Slakia. This is from nu.nl, which is a big also news platform. You can find a lot of news there. So, original New York residents want Dutch excuses for colonization. The members of the of the American Lenape community want the Netherlands to apologize for the suffering caused by the Dutch colonization of their habitat, which is located in present-day New York. And that's also a thing because it used to be New Amsterdam. And don't forget, when Christopher Columbus was there, and they were fighting with the Indians. A lot of Dutch people went there, and they also sold, for 1 guilder, they sold New Amsterdam, and if you look at certain locations, you can know that is, I said that it goes back to Dutch, for example, like the baseball team Yankees, it goes back to Yankees, which is a Dutch name, which is very commonly here among the Edomites. And like you got Brooklyn, it goes back to Breukelen, which is a city near Utrecht. Like Haarlem, Haarlem is Haarlem, and which is a city that's near Amsterdam. So you can find a lot of stuff that leads you back to the Dutch. And like I said, during when they were fighting with the so-called Indians, a lot of Dutch people, they went there voluntarily to murder the northern tribes over there. So back to the article. Um, it is striking that art historians from the Amsterdam Museum support the Lenape. The call for an apology did not come by chance. This is what two members of the Lenape community, Chief Uri Ridgway and Brent Stonefish, said to nu.nl during a visit to the Netherlands. The approximately 20,000 members of his group of original inhabitants of the United States would have discussed this extensively in advance. If it is up to them, there will also be a financial satisfaction. Yeah, but that's also another thing. A lot of people, they're looking for money, but you cannot put a price on your blood. And like the scriptures explain us, this planet has been flooded with the blood of the Jacob descendants, all the 12 tribes of Israel. And this planet needs to be cleansed by the blood who shed it. So, as a matter of fact, let me grab that a chapter, that scripture first, fast. And the Mosai is gonna, when Yahushua is gonna come back, that's exactly what's going to happen. So let me see. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 35 and verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defiled the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So there you have it, And let me grab another scripture that also pops in my mind in the book of Revelation. Let me see. It's the book of Revelations, chapter 13 and verse 9. If any have an ear, let them hear. Everybody got ears, but people need to understand this, Verse 10, he that leadeth into captivity, slavery, shall go into captivity. So, y'all and all your heathens are going to captivity. He that killeth with the sword, so just look, like I just said, look at all the bloodshed that this Edomites has done. So he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And the saints goes back to the children of Israel. So, yeah, man, we waiting for that, man. Y'all gonna pay, man. Y'all think you can buy it off and this and that, but hey, the Most High will require your blood, man. To Yahushua is gonna happen, man. To Yahushua, the angels, and the elect, That's exactly what's gonna happen. We are massacred, and that's true. And recently they remembered the hologram, also did a video about that. And that's if you look at the so-called Indians, that's already almost 60 millions that were murdered. And about the small heads, these imposters, these Israelis, they talk about 6 million, but the whole world needs to stand still and remember them. Man, it's gonna be beautiful to see y'all suffer, man. To have y'all in chains, to see y'all bleeding and screaming for I say that for mercy, man. We are massacred, Stonefish says of his ancestors. Ridgway adds that the impact on his community is still being felt. Due to Dutch colonization, our community has fragmented into loose living groups, even in the south of Canada. We now live in poverty outside our original habitat. We also have to deal with alcoholism, high rates of suicide, and low self esteem. Ridgway and Stonefish belongs to a Lenape delegation who is visiting Amsterdam for the opening of the exhibition of Manhattan or New Amsterdam, the indigenous story behind New York in the Amsterdam Museum. Exactly 400 years ago in 1624, the first Dutch settlers entered the area now called New York. The West India Company, WIC, had given them orders to found the colony of Netherlands. The capital was to be called New Amsterdam. The WIC chose the southern tip of Mana, Manhattan Island as its location. The Lenape's name for what is now the New York borough of Manhattan. Art historians Amsterdam Museum understanding after investigation. The Lenape want to tell the shared colonial history of the Netherlands and the original inhabitants of New York from the perspective of the latter group for the first time through utensils, videos, and contemporary work of art. That's happening for the first time. The Lenape do this together with the Amsterdam Museum and the Museum of the City of New York. Imara Limon and Tom van der Molen are curators of the exhibition. After a few years of studying the Lenape perspective, art historians have come to understand the call for an apology. There was talk of mass murder, genocide. It was really disgusting, says Van der Molen. The Lenape were portrayed as savages by the Dutch rulers. Yeah, and that's what they always used to do, But, meanwhile, while they be still, they still a bunch of cave monkeys afraid to take a shower. A lot of them only shower once a week, if they even shower. By dehumanizing them in this way, it was easier to justify their poor treatment. The recognition of the suffering of the slavery press passed through an apology by the state has benefited many people from the communities involved, says Limon. Apologies to the Lenape community for the harm caused to them would be a good step. Manhattan or New Amsterdam can be seen from May 16 to November 10. So yeah, that could be something interesting to watch. But yeah, let me see. Let me jump to the book of Job real quick. This is the book of Job, chapter 20 and verse 10. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. But they try, but the Most High, like I said, their blood needs to be required. They're going to be in slavery, and after that, they're going to be destroyed, man. That's the future of these Edomites, man. This is the book of Obadiah and verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hid things sought up? To the spirit and power of Yahweh Basham Yahushai. And it's beautiful because more and more things being revealed, and this shows us that they are going down, because they used to hide all these things, teaching, talking about Columbus discovered America, this and that, blah, blah, blah. How can you discover something where there's already people living there? For example, you're there chilling at your house, then somebody, kick in your door, murder you, basically, put you in captivity, murder your family, put you in captivity, take your house, make it his house, put his flag in your house, and be like, put you in chains, put you to hardcore labor, and then talks about, yeah, I got a new house. That's basically what they've been doing all over the planet. Talking about they discovered something. Bullshit, man. That's the book of Luke, chapter 12 and 2. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light, and that which ye have spoken in the ear in closet shall be proclaimed upon the housetops. So everything's gonna be open. And like I said, this is these things are signs of the downfall of the Edomites, the so-called white people. All this shit that they try to hide, the beautiful stories of history that they try to mislead the people with, it's coming into the open. So yeah, man, I just wanted to do a little video about that. I saw this and I, it basically how you said that sparked me like, yeah, man, there's another thing on these Dutch Edomites, and for those who watch my videos know that I mentioned it many times that these Edomites of Holland, that they are special, and I'm very curious or on how their punishment is going to be, because they are pure evil, man. They are so evil. They are a special tribe, man, over here, man. So yeah, man, with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Waharuka Kodash, double honors to the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone for teaching us the scriptures, among other things. And salutations to all your Akim across the earth who do this work in sincerity and truth. So with that, I'm going to say Shalom.